Welcome to The Explainer. All right, today we are diving headfirst into a question that is sending some serious shockwaves to the entire tech world. It's a question that could literally change the game for millions of jobs.
And there it is, the question that's plastered all over the headlines. And you know, it's probably on your mind too. With the absolute explosion of artificial intelligence, are human software developers, the people who actually build our digital world, are they on their way out?
Well, the media sure seems to think so. The hype would have you believe that AI is this magic bullet, a complete replacement for human talent, especially for those just starting out. The argument, right, is that AI can write code way faster and cheaper than any person ever could. And that basically makes the programmer obsolete. It's a really compelling and, let's be honest, kind of terrifying thought.
But what's the real story behind all the noise? We're going to dig into an article by a software developer who's been in the game for 30 years, and he argues that, well, he's seen this kind of panic before.
So, the author of our source material, Nick Smith, he's been in the trenches through it all, from Visual Basic and PHP all the way to modern stuff like Node.js. And he makes this really crucial point. He's lived through several of these so-called end-of-programming moments. And you know what? None of them ever played out the way the headlines screamed they would. So the big question is this time really different?
To really figure out what AI can do, the author didn't just speculate. Nope, he put it to the test with a real-world project, rebuilding an automated crypto trading system that he had originally built completely by hand.
And wow, this really paints a picture of the difference. On the left, you've got the old way. One person slogging through manual architecture, writing every little piece from scratch, and then the long, painful process of debugging. On the right, you have the new AI way. It's a collaboration, a partnership. The AI helps design the whole thing, generates the parts, and helps you squash bugs at lightning speed.
Okay, so how long did it take him to build the original system the old way? I mean, really think about it. It took a full 6 months of dedicated work.
And with AI as his partner, get ready for this. 3 hours. Just 3 hours. Let that sink in for a second. 6 months of work shrunk down to 3 hours. That is not a typo. He went from a totally blank page to a working system in the time it takes to watch a movie. The difference is just staggering.
And get this, the initial, complete, ready-to-go code base for the entire system, the AI spat the whole thing out in under 10 minutes. That's the part that's just almost unbelievable. The raw speed is completely off the charts.
But, and you knew there was a but coming, right? That incredible speed, it doesn't tell the whole story. Because as anyone who's ever built anything that actually works knows, the devil is always, always in the details. And this is where it gets really interesting. This is where the AI totally fell short. It could handle a specific, isolated task perfectly, but it consistently missed the big picture, how all the different parts were supposed to connect and work together. The AI had zero long-term context, it couldn't pick up on unstated assumptions, and it had no foresight or sense of responsibility at all. This is where the human developer had to step in over and over again to fix the core logic. And it's really important to acknowledge how this stuff feels. The author himself, this 30-year veteran, he straight up admits that when he first saw what AI was capable of, he was honestly shaken. He said it felt like a child had just walked in and effortlessly done something that took him ages to master. That's a powerful and pretty unsettling feeling that a lot of us are probably feeling right now. So if AI isn't going to just replace developers one for one, what is the real job threat here? Well, the answer is actually bigger and a lot more structural than just the AI itself.
So here's the crucial point. AI has become this really convenient scapegoat for job losses in tech. But the truth is, the industry was already heading towards consolidation. Things like SaaS platforms were already replacing custom-built software, and those junior roles were getting harder and harder to find even before this AI boom. AI isn't the cause of the storm, it's just the wind that's making it blow a whole lot faster.
I mean, this timeline just shows it perfectly. We went from the early days, where self-taught coders were super rare, to the huge internet boom where demand was through the roof. That boom created this massive global pool of developers, which led to the market saturation we're seeing today. AI is just the next phase of that cycle. It's hitting the gas on that consolidation.
The author also brings up this critical, systemic risk that almost no one is talking about, the danger of creating what he calls a code monoculture. Think about it. If all these AI models are trained on the exact same open-source code, they're all going to start spitting out code with the same patterns, the same habits, and the same potential flaws.
This creates an incredibly fragile global system where a single bug could have catastrophic, widespread consequences. Human diversity in how we solve problems has been a hidden strength we're at risk of losing.
So what does all this mean for the future? Well, it points toward a new and I think ultimately more valuable role for the developer. It's a shift from just being a coder to becoming more of a conductor.
So what does this new kind of programmer actually do? Well, first, they direct the AI agents. They set the vision. Second, they meticulously validate what the AI spits out, catching all those subtle errors it misses. Third, they are the master integrators, the ones who weave all these AI-generated pieces into a solid working system. And finally, and this might be the most important part, they shield the client from all of that insane complexity under the hood.
And this right here, this gets to the absolute heart of it all. A business owner doesn't want to learn how to write the perfect prompt or spend their weekend debugging code. They have an idea, a vision. They need a human expert who can listen, who can understand that vision, and then translate it into a functioning reality. That role has always belonged to the developer, and trust me, it is not going anywhere.
And this final thought from the article just sums it all up perfectly. As long as human beings have ideas they want to build and the money to build them, they will need developers. The tools are going to change, the whole environment will be different, for sure, but that fundamental human need for problem solvers, for architects of reality, that remains. So is the programmer dead? Absolutely not. But the job of the programmer is evolving, big time. And the real question for everyone in this field is no longer if they should adapt, but how they're going to evolve right along with it.